I was fired from Etisalat actually.
Right.
So I was at home for 1 year and I had no job. At this time.
What?
I said, can you make banga soup with very strong eba?
What is banga soup? Hey! Oh wait, is that like putting bangas into a pot and like making stew out of it?
Okay, I know how to make banga. I grew up in worry.
No, come on, you grew up in worry.
I gave you life. I picked you up from the gutters and gave you life. Everything that you think you are today is because of me, you filthy pig.
Oh, Dad! Speak to me like that again, and I will move your teeth.
So I was at home for 1 year and I had no job. At this time I was broke, busted down, I had no money. I just said, just start praying because this thing is bad.
What is it like to be fired?
Who?
He removed his glasses.
Look, let me tell you, it was quiet. You know when you're fired, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, it's quiet. Like you just hear silence. Yeah. I just felt like, okay, so they said your gift will make room for you, Abi. So now there is nothing, the chips are down, your back is against the wall. What are you going to do? I don't think I'm a fine face.
But people will disagree. A lot of people will disagree.
But I don't want people to know me
because
say,
of that.
He's a fine boy, no,
Yes,
or he can speak well, no. I wanted people to know me for my performance.
You've been in the industry since at least 2015.
Yes, about 2015, yes.
Yes. Yeah. But I knew you for the first time. I mean, I'd seen you, but I paid attention with Sugar Rush, obviously.
Well, a lot of people did.
Yes.
A lot of people did.
Yes. But you know what was in Sugar Rush was that you took a character that could be dismissed as a comical character and you made it present. So people couldn't take their eyes off it. You know, it's easy to say, oh, he's a funny character and move on. But what I sensed what people were talking about was, no, it's not just that it was a funny character, but this is a great actor.
Like, I don't know how to respond to that because, I mean, like, I'm very passionate about this craft. You know, like, I'm super passionate about it. I've always been. Anybody who knows me knows that I've just been very passionate about it. So most times I take I take all my work seriously, regardless, like from stage to film, whatever it is. And then, I mean, first off, it was Jadi that called, you know. The great Jadi, you know. And then, at the time, my career was just budding. I was doing a show for African Magic called Unbroken at the time. It was a 260 teledrama, you know. And then I came back from work. This was, say, at about 10 p.m., 11. And then I saw on IG, and I saw Bimbo, I saw Bisola, I saw Adesoa, and I'm like, this is the kind of film someone should be making. And I didn't know the name at the time. So I just went to bed and I said, God, please, like, when will someone start making this sort of films? And then by the time I woke up at about 6, 7, getting ready to go back to work, I saw that a certain number had called me at about 4 a.m. in the morning. At the time, I was still using Android. no disrespect to
No
Android.
disrespect to Android. So you Android
I
people.
still have an Android phone.
Yes.
So, and then I checked, and then, Truecaller says it's Jade Usiberu. Right. And then it happened that it was the same film that I had seen Bimbo and the likes, and then Bisola and Adesowa on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what's going on? And then I called the number back, and like, oh my God, Uzor, we wanted to talk to you, we want you on our gig, I'm like, so I had to, she was like, okay, so you would talk to my PM or something like that, and then he would, follow up and all of that. Yeah. When I cut the phone, I did a happy dance. Literally, I was like, what? Yeah. Is this how God answers prayers? And then, I got on set. I had 3 scenes in the entire film. Yeah. And I think 2 scenes made the final cut. Right. Or maybe about 4 scenes and then 3 made the final cut, or either way, I mean, like, people liked it. And
loved what it's like. Loved it.
And then, so from there, that's when my journey into cinema. Yeah. Because that was majorly my first major cinema
movie. Yes, that's why, because before that, I'd seen you in Unbroken.
Yes.
Because I was an addict of African magic, telenovelas. So if it's broken, if it's, I would see it. Yeah. But a lot of things are happening over 260 episodes. So how did the response, how did you receive it?
From Sugar Rush?
Yes.
Oh. So I heard, one of the first things that blew me away was that I don't know his name. So it's an American Hollywood actor, black guy. Right. I can't remember his name. So he came to do something for Ebony Live. I can't remember his name. Right. And then in one of his classes, somebody said that he made reference to the film. Wow. And they made reference to my performance. Yeah. I think that was the biggest accolade that I could have gotten at the time, because this is some Hollywood guy. Yeah. I forgot his name, black guy, and he said that, he saw the film. I remember seeing him at the premiere. Right. And then he said, he's one of his best performances in that film was this character, I think his name was Knight, made reference to me. And then my friends and guys were sending me like, Uzor, I'm like, yo, so for me, that was the biggest thing that happened. And it was refreshing. So at the time, my career was just budding. Yes. I wasn't sure, because I had done corporate for 10 years. Yes. And I was like, God, is this, I've been doing this all my life, but I wasn't sure if I was supposed to hang my corporate boots and then go to my creative boots, And then I said, show me a sign. Like, just tell me if this is what you really want me to do. And then that happened. And then in almost the same period of time, I was nominated for AMVCA. Yes. Twice. Two films in the same category, and I was like, okay, so
yes, I think I
go there here.
I've heard your message.
Yes. Loud and clear. So I'll just be here. So.
Yeah, just so that I don't geek out on your films, because I can continue talking about your films. Let me just take a segue. I know that you say you worked in corporate for 10 years. Now you worked in a telco at some point. Yes, I did work in telco. And then I
worked in retail, fitness and sports. Right. A retail company for fitness and sports,
And you quit, or you were fired or something?
So I was, to be honest, so this is the first time I'm saying this, anywhere. I was fired from Etisalat, actually. Oh, wow. I don't think my mom even knows. I don't think my mom knows.
Wow, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, my brother, I told my brother years after. I was fired sometime in 2012. Something happened in my department. I was heading the group at the time, the team at the time, and then when something happened, I had to take the fall as the leader or the lead, in the group. And then I tried to get into film, in 2012, but it was really slow. So I think the only gig I got between 2012 and 2013 when I got my second job was some stage drama. Shei Babatope, great guy, and then he got me the gigs. It was me, Diana Yakini, and Adiolu. Yeah. So we did this thing for Diageo, 30 different schools, blah, blah, blah. Right. And that's the only gig I did between 2012, November 2012 when I was fired, and December 2013. Right. So I was at home for 1 year, and I had no job. Nobody was calling me for film. Wow. I'm telling you, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Because one would have thought, I'm sure in your mind, you think, okay, well, it's acting, so I'll use this to fill the time.
Good. Nothing happened today. Nothing. Nobody called me. It was only Shei that called me. Wow. So I was like, okay, I think I should go back. I dusted my certificate again, and I'm like, let's go back to the streets. And somehow I got a job again. Did that for another 5 years. And then 2018, eventually, I was like, I think I'm done. I think I have tried, and then I tried. I left my company about April 2018, got my first gig with Iroko, August 28, 2018. So this was like 4 or 5. At this time, I was broke, busted down. I had no money. In fact, it was so bad that I was saying a prayer by 12 noon. You know how after you've prayed in the morning and everybody has gone to work, I was alone in the house, in my house.
Yeah.
And it was quiet. And I was hearing people, everybody had gone to work. Yeah. And I'm like, I just said, just start praying because this thing is bad. Like this thing is terrible. Yeah. So I was praying and then a call shortened my prayer. I had to wrap up the prayer because the call came in. And then it was somebody I had done my MBA with, Onyo Deze. She's a producer, and she says, and at this time, I didn't even know her in my class. I knew her, but I didn't talk to her. It was, how postgraduate classes are. I didn't really get to talk to her. I didn't even know she knew me. And then she calls and says, hi, this is Uzor, we want a job. Jimmy Odogwu was supposed to be playing the character, but he was a very raunchy character. He's a pastor.
Yes.
So Jimmy was like, oh, he will pass, that it was too raunchy for him. And then when you called, I don't know how.
Yeah.
At that time, I did one small character with Waje and Omomi. She is. There's a film that she's
yes, I saw that.
I played one pastor, one Randy pastor. Yeah. And I think Chris Energy, who had seen me on the film, I think he directed the film. I think he now told Onya about me. And then she called randomly. That was how I got my life back. So from that day, if Onya did 10 films that year, I was in 9. And that was how my journey just started,
What is it like to be fired?
Whew.
He removed his glasses.
Look, let me tell you, I came to work. You know how it is. I just showed up at work. A regular, another normal day, and forensics said they had investigations. They were investigating something. I didn't know. But my boss, my line manager at the time, had told me oh, there's something happening in the company. It's a telco. So what happened in a nutshell was the amount of data that my company at the time was selling wasn't commensurate to the amount of money that they were making. Right. So they were selling data. They were seeing that data was being expended, but the money wasn't coming in. And then I was leading, at the time, a group called the Geek Force, which was like basically a group of tech people who would tell you how to utilize your phone, enjoy your data. So apps were becoming a thing, people were beginning to understand what apps could do. Right. So it was my team that, voila, bust. And I didn't know. So I showed up at work and forensics started and everything, hell just broke loose. Yeah. One day they told me summon me to head office and I got there, somebody had to take the fall and it had to be me. Yeah. Fam. Yeah. It was quiet. When you're fired, yeah? Yes. Oh, it's quiet. Like you just hear silence and you're wondering, how do I tell anybody that I was fired? I couldn't even tell my parents who held me in high esteem because I've never really failed in my life. I mean, from primary school to secondary to uni, I never really spent 6 months at home. I was always just going, moving. And then 5 years after, when I have come to a place where I'm almost looking at becoming a manager. I had become a specialist, in telco, so I had become a specialist, moving on to becoming, hoping to become a manager. Yeah. And then this happened. Yeah. It was one of the hardest things ever. Yeah. It was really hard. Yeah. It was tough. Yeah. I had quiet first, and then they strip you naked. Basically, you drop your ID card, your laptop, everything that makes you feel like you have a job. Yes. Yes. And then you walk out of the gate like an outcast, and then you're looking around you, and there's nothing. Yeah. I didn't know who to call first. I just walked. It was Banana Island at the time. They're still there. Yeah. So I just started walking. I was walking. I walked out of Banana Island, walked to Bodilon, came into Lekki. I was just walking. Yeah. Eventually I got home, I slept. I still didn't tell anybody. Yeah. And then I said, my resolve was like, just tell everybody that you change jobs. That was the best thing I could do. Yes. I lied about it for a bit, and then eventually, after some years, when I got my second job, I started telling people that this is what actually happened. Yeah. It's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
I can only imagine. But when I started my career, I started after my first job, I got into film and reality TV. Yeah. But I couldn't do it sustainably. I couldn't continue in it as much as I loved it because I couldn't bear waiting to be called. I say it, I was saying it to my friend Tony Aladishi, who was, I say, I can't, and now when I look at them, I mean, thank God I'm doing what I love now, but when I was doing one of my business at the time, I'm like, look at them and think, I cheated myself because I thought, to wait for someone to call me for a job, etc. So for you, what was that like to go from corporate, where you know what is coming, you know the career path, you can plan, to Nollywood?
I don't know. Like, so it was tough. I hate to remember it because I pushed it somewhere in my mind because it was very hard. It was a dark part. So I feel like I knew that I had the gift. I've always known. I've always been with all the humility in my heart, I've always been a star. From primary school to secondary school to university. Somehow people just would know me for my art. And I was like, okay, so this is real life. This is not uni anymore. This is not secondary school where I'm being funded, but I'm still doing the art, or I'm singing and that, because I sing, dance, and act. And it was, I just felt like, okay, they said your gift will make room for you. Abi, so now there is nothing. The chips are down. Your back is against the wall. What are you going to do? And I said, the only thing that I know that I can bank on is this thing. I know that I'm good at it. I don't know how I'm going to prove it, but I'm willing to prove it. And I don't care how long it takes, but I will prove. In fact, I still have that prove it mentality until people now have to tell me, Uzor, you don't have to prove anything. People know that you can act. But till maybe even late last year.
Wow.
Yeah. I have my Egbon, Uzor Arukwe, who is a great senior friend of mine. He was like, oh, Baba, you sabi this thing. You don't need to prove it. But I just felt like I needed to tell people that. And then I was charging peanuts. I wasn't charging. They were paying me. I never reached to charge at the time because you charge when you are your leg is standing. So they were paying me, just to show up, and then some people, would treat me terribly, which came with the position, but I just felt like I know that I'm good at it. And every time that I had to perform, I performed like it was my last performance. I always just left everything on the floor. I always just wanted, and I didn't want to cut corners. I like the process a lot because I feel like the process will make you, it will form you. And then you would understand fame, because I feel like fame is fleeting. Fame is fickle. And if you let fame be the driving force, then you don't understand what it is that God has given you. So I just wanted to go through with it. And this is me being very honest. I just wanted to go through with it. I wanted to go, I wanted to do stage. I wanted everybody to just know that, oh, if it's stage, I'm good at it. If it's film, I'm good at it. If it's dance, if it's... Some people don't even know I can dance. And I hate it too. That's why, so people started calling me the dark horse because I would be at the back and everybody would just go and do the auditions and do everything. And then they'll say, that boy will get that move for face. You, Baba, be audition, you come now. And then I'll show up. And then they're like, what can you do? I say I can act, sing, and that. They'll look at me and I'm stoic. I'm this guy.
So they cannot see
I don't have this funky hair. At the time I was low-cut, clean looking guy. And then I'll sing and down. I'm like, so it always just made, like, this boy in a dark horse. And so I just decided, the first time I heard that word, I had to Google it. I'm like, what did you say? Oh, the guy that is very unassuming. I'm like, I like it. And then I just put it, and it was hard, but I just knew that I had to prove to people that I'm not just, I don't think I'm a fine face.
But people will disagree. A lot of people will disagree.
But I don't want people to know me
because of that.
He's a fine boy, no, or he can speak well, no. I wanted people to know me for my performance.